Hello, you made it. Alright, gamers. For those of you in the stream right now, can you hear me over the music? Or, I guess this would be a better question to ask when I get into the gameplay. Have I played Fall Guys? Not yet. You can hear me loud and clear. Good. As long as you can hear me over the music and the sound effects, then that's all I need. But give me a moment. Oh dear. Here, look at my desktop. I need to figure out how to share my stream link. There it is. Copy. Before anyone asks, I'm going to be talking about more game design, but more on the front of sound design. So give me one moment. I need to go to the standby screen. Not ready. Oh, that's not Downwell. This is Downwell. Hello. I apologize about that. I thought I had everything ready. Okay, hang on. I need to rearrange some windows one last time. There we are. Hi. Okay. I decided to do a part 2 of the stream that I did yesterday. But it's going to be shorter than yesterday, because I already covered a large bulk of what makes the game design and Downwell so compelling yesterday. So, actually today, now that I have my sound reconfigured, and I didn't do that yesterday, we're going to divulge into sound design maybe talk about visuals as well and animations. But yeah, mostly sound design, because you guys were not given the opportunity to listen to it yesterday. Is this live? I sure hope so. Yeah, live gameplay analysis or game design analysis. So I'm just going to repeat this. Today's stream will focus on game design, as I just said. So I'll frequently stop to talk about what they do to the game and how do they work. I'm not an expert, but rather a college student who has studied game design for at least 3 years. Keep in mind that this is not my game, and also keep in mind that the things that I say may not be representative of the values and goals that Ojiro Fumoto, the developer of this game, may strive for. It's possible we could get into conjecture, assumptions, or speculation. Take the things that I say with a grain of salt, but also consider it as food for thought, especially if you want to research a topic a bit further. So, with that said, we're going to bask into the glory of this game's music, sound effects, maybe stop and take a gander at the animations if we can, because this game is very well animated for a game that's only has like 3 to 4 colors. 4 max, but usually 3 colors. How many levels are in this game? I've only made it to the catacombs. There's 4 main biomes. And each biome has 3 levels. So you will go through up to 12 before you get to the final boss. You might be able to see levels beyond the catacombs for you, Braven, but I don't know. If you don't want to spoil yourself, then maybe this stream's not for you. But if you don't mind, go ahead, stick around. But yeah, because I played this game so much that I can very easily reach down to limbo if I am focused enough. Especially if I go at a brisk pace and everything. But we're going to try to take it easy today. Just like yesterday. Okay. So, yesterday I didn't have, as I've said several times before, the sound was off. So now you get to be able to listen to all the sound effects and, of course, the music. As you can see, I guess here, there's unique sound effects for various things like jumping, along with animations like the player character's barrel rolling. Most styles show the player doing that barrel roll animation. So I guess that's nice for consistency. But a key thing with having unique animations or sound effects or visuals, for that matter, is that it all gives feedback to the player. So if you want to be able to distinguish yourself between the sound of your weapon or an enemy, there's a unique sound effect for every little thing. And it lets you know, like, what things you can do, what things you cannot do, that sort of thing. And speaking on that point a bit, obviously I can jump, and I can shoot. And there's also textual feedback that shows up as well that lets me know if I'm empty. And another thing is that if I try to shoot while I'm empty, I get a puff of cloud. So it lets me know that even when I'm empty, I can't do anything when I'm I can't shoot anything when I'm empty. So yeah, all of that's very important in game design. Because otherwise, if you don't have any of this, then the player will be lost. They won't know what the hell they're doing. So this is all like very simple and necessary things that you need in your game. We're just gonna jump in. I think I'm going to stick with Levitate style. I've already explained what the styles do and stuff, but here's another example of visual and audio feedback playing at the same time to complement the action that I'm doing. So what I have here on the left side is hard mode. If I press left on the style selection wheel, then it'll play a unique sound and visuals that lets me know that I have enabled hard mode. And on top of that, there is some text that shows up popping out onto the screen saying, hey, you've enabled hard mode. And of course I can disable it by pressing the same button back on it. But like I said, like without having any of these all of these visuals, audio feedback, that kind of thing, I won't even know that I've enabled hard mode. Also, the sound effect is just really cool in 8-bit. But yeah, gonna go back to this. We're gonna see more of helpful feedback when we encounter enemies, go visit the shopkeep, maybe other little things that I'll find, and I don't know. I'm not sure what else I'm going to talk about aside from talking about things as I go. But maybe we could maybe we can listen to the music a bit, because there's no time limit to completing a level. I guess the only things that would motivate you to keep going are the enemies. Oh, that's another thing I could probably talk about, push and pull methods. That's a common game design concept. It's may or may not be related to sound design or visual feedback, but push and pull makes sense in game design regardless. So all the sounds in this game are very 8-bit-ish. Makes it very appropriate for its visuals and its art style and stuff. So obviously I just got some visual and audio feedback for picking up a weapon module. And of course, as you can also see, every weapon has a unique sound effect. I'll talk more about the weapon modules if I find one that gives me health. But you know what I do appreciate about those side rooms with the time voids is that while everything stops, including the enemies and the and other factors, if you're in the aquifer, the third area that is, if you're in the aquifer, your air meter does not deplete. You'll probably see what I mean if I can get there. But yeah, all of that pauses, and the music pauses as well, so it gives you a chance to chill out, have a moment of respite, that kind of thing. And you know what? Here's another thing about the weapons. I'm on my gem high right now, right? So when I'm on my gem high and I have a weapon, the sound effect for it changes as well. It sounds a lot stronger, and it really couples with the visuals as well. Now, obviously, since I have the laser on a gem high, that means I have a bigger, wider, stronger laser beam. And I guess alongside with, I guess while I'm on the topic of weapons, the UI really pairs up well with the weapon interaction. So when I fire, each bullet disappears on the right side, almost immediately. So it's very immediate and very necessary feedback. That lets you know what you can and cannot do at the moment until you land on solid ground or stomp on top of an object or enemy. When it comes to the enemies, I really like how most of these enemies have unique sound effects, including the bats. Sounds like a whistle. The frog. Let's see, these frogs here, they have a unique sound effect of their own, but they only make a sound when they are about to jump, so it gives you a good way to telegraph their movements. Turtles have their own sound, death sound effect there. But yeah. That's also very helpful for the sake of enemy design, if you want to be able to show them that they're about to do something impactful, like maybe a really strong attack or something. Or in the case of the frog, they're about to jump, so you should like prepare for that. Then having a sense of having a telegraphed moment gives the player a chance to react appropriately. So let's see. Gem powered, getting gems recharges gun boots. Gem sick, gem high lasts for a longer duration. Youth, I may have talked about all of these in yesterday's stream. But what I think I'm going to do is pick up gem powered. Sometimes there's a frog just sitting there, just ready to get stomped on, which is kind of sad, but very convenient for the player at the same time. Snail has its own unique death animation, or death sound. Yes, death sound. It's really cool how like most of these enemies have their own sound effects, where appropriate. It gives them a sense of identity and stuff. Okay, we're about to go to the shopkeep. I love the shopkeep. Because the shopkeep has a very deep sounding voice, but on top of that deep voice, the shopkeep kind of makes sounds that sound like the words that are being said on screen. Yeah, like that. What did I just buy? Charge. I think I must have just picked up a battery. That's okay. Yeah, come again. Hello. Hello. Welcome. Now I'm just messing around with the shopkeep. Oops. I just think is very. I think the shopkeep's just very charming, and it's the little things that really make like even side characters very engaging to interact with. And I think I showed them this sort of thing in yesterday's stream, but there's also appropriate reactions to when you try to buy things that you've already purchased, or if you try to buy things that you do not have enough money for. The shopkeep makes a goofy expression too, like, what are you trying to do? There's nothing there, you can't buy it. It's funny to do, but like it tells the player that, hey, you already bought this, and you can't do anything with it. I think the developer was just having some fun and decided to throw that in, because why not? There's also the same deal with trying to buy something that you do not have enough money for. They just tell you that, hey, you're too poor. That's the only message that they'll give you. But yeah. Shopkeep, the best shopkeep. The Red Eye has their own death sound. Ah, yes, the turtles. There's a unique sound effect that plays that lets you know that you cannot shoot the turtle. It's a nice deflection sound. That means you gotta stomp on them. There were very few enemies like that. But it's mostly turtles. And I like how these... I really like the animations in this game, too. Especially with, like, things like rocket jump or that gem high beam that you just saw whenever you actually get said gem high. And the blast animations, too. They're very... It's very fluid. I did not make this game! I wish I did, but this is not my game. That's why I had to say this at the beginning of the stream. I'm just talking about game design, that's all I'm doing. Just doing a personal analysis on it. Let's see. There is a laser sight, there's the heart balloon. I said yesterday that this is just a get-out-of-jail-free card, and it explodes whenever an enemy touches the balloon. Let's see. No, did you make another game? I haven't made another game myself, personally. I've only made one game, but that was a few years ago. That was for a school project. Let's see. I think I'm gonna pick up laser sight. Continuing the trend of visual feedback. When you have the laser sight, it angles a bit depending on your movement, and in the case of the laser, it kind of angles a little bit. That way it lets you get a better idea of where your laser beam will shoot. Whenever you press the shoot button, or I guess the jump button in midair, given the simple control scheme. But if I pick up Nappy, you'll see that the laser sight will be very helpful. I guess it's a matter of when I will find it. Not right now. Is Downwell on Switch? Yes, and it's $3. It's a steal. In yesterday's stream, I picked up this upgrade called Fork and Knife. So if I find that, then I can show you guys what's so amusing about that upgrade, which is the sound effect, of course. Right now I don't have it. I just have gem powered and the laser sight, of course. Man, that eye makes it, the red eyes make a very impactful sound. Alright. Welcome. Oh yeah, the shopkeep never likes it when I go behind him. Of course I can't kill him. Nor will they fight me. Nothing happens. They're just there. They just want to sell me stuff. That's all they want to do. Let's see. I'm gonna pick up health. That'll fill up my extra health gauge right below my health bar. He'll take an extra charge. I'm gonna need that for the laser, because the lasers just use so much ammo per shot. Oof. Alright, so we just got through the caverns. Now we are about to go to the catacombs, which is very different from the previous biome. I'm gonna pick up Gemsick, since I just so happened to find it again. So, I talked about this yesterday, but the unique hazards in this place are the spike traps. as you can see, there's a pairing of audio and visual feedback, so it gives the player a chance to get out of the way, otherwise they'll get spiked. Oof. And I've said yesterday that there's some sort of Super Mario rule set going on here, meaning that you can bonk your head from beneath the break blocks, and that you can stomp on enemies, and that you cannot touch them from the sides. And that's kind of indicated by characters enveloped in red or white. The white ones mean that you can stomp them from above, just like on that ghost. Or the red ones mean that you cannot stomp them, and if you do, you will take damage. So like, there was a specter that was floating around that was red and black and had white eyes and stuff. That's an example of an enemy that you must shoot. Okay. So when I pick up this weapon, it'll give me some different audio feedback. So that just tells me that I got extra health. And if you recall seeing the last weapon module that I picked up, which was that laser, and played a sound that told me that I got extra charges. But the one I just picked up just gave me extra health. And now that we have Nappy, I can show you how the laser sights work in tandem with the Nappy. The specialty of this weapon is that you can kind of aim where you shoot based on your basic movement. But it's otherwise a lot like the machine gun. Whoop. Really helps have that feedback right there. Otherwise, I would have been skewered. I guess perhaps I could also talk about risk and reward, because yesterday I was racking up a combo. There's a combo system in this game. And maybe I could, now that I mention it, I could probably try to rack up a combo. But yeah, there is a combo system. If you keep stomping on enemies before you touch the ground, time voids such as this room are an exception. If you keep stomping on enemies before you touch the ground, you will earn rewards. You can only earn up to 3 different awards. When you reach like 25, I just reset my combo, but it's not going to tell me. I think the combo text only tells me how much my combo is if I have more than 5. So you can see that number showing up above me. I just broke 8, so that means I will get the gem award. I think if is it 15 when I get the charge? I don't remember. Maybe I'll find out. Or is it 16? Don't remember. I think this time I'm going to pick up reverse engineering. I think this will be a fun little thing to try out. Oh, I should not have done that. Ah! So as soon as I land, I get my reward, and that's reflected in the textual feedback. Oof. Of course, the skeletons have their own sound effect when they die. Same for the giant skulls. Let's see. Have you tried Enter the Gungeon? And if so, how do you like it? I have tried it on Epic Games Store. I don't like it so much. I don't know. I don't think that game's for me. I mean, yes, it's a dungeon crawler, and you think I would enjoy it because I played games like Nuclear Throne, but I don't know. I think it's too slow for my own taste. I am spoiled from playing games like Downwell right here and Nuclear Throne to like really have a taste for fast action games. I don't know. I don't think Under the Gungeon is as like snappy as like Nuclear Throne and this game. I think the ghost corpses are not only kind of strange to see because they're ghosts, but the corpses themselves are kind of funny. It just looks like a pile of mush. Okay, so I have reverse engineering, and if you recall correctly, if I shoot this thing, then it'll change the weapon. I think I can only... Oh, oops. I guess I'll have to show you the thing later. I need to actually shoot the thing in order to show you what I mean. So the thing with the reward system is that it plays several sounds at once. So if I got the tier 2 reward, so that means I get gems and an extra charge. So appropriate sounds will play when I receive said reward. I'm gonna pick up safety jetpack because that is very helpful. Specters, of course, make a very unique death sound too. And I like how the more dangerous enemies are the ones with the scarier sounds. So like the red eyes, for example, in the caverns, or in here, it's the giant skulls. And if you have played Downwell, or have seen my stream yesterday, you know that those giant skulls will just chase you down if you try to shoot them. So the idea is to stomp on them before you shoot them. Well, and it's not like you will be able to shoot them after you stomp them anyway, because stomping any enemy that you can will instantly kill them. So let's see. Energy drink, sure. Oh, I don't have enough money. Okay. So like so, I need to stomp on that giant skull instead of shooting at it. Alright, let's try this thing. Oh, look at that. I got the machine gun with extra charges. I think an important aspect of Downwell's, given the nature of its gameplay, is that a lot of the sound effects and visuals and that kind of stuff is very fast, very snappy, and most things like the animations or the sound effects are only seen on screen for like a split second. So it's very complements the fast-paced action environment. Should have done that. That's okay. Thankfully, you can still shoot those giant skulls, but like they take a lot of damage. Ah, max HP up. If you saw that text, that means that my max HP just has been increased. You've probably seen this a dozen times, but when I take damage, the screen turns black for like a split second. I think that like turning the screen black is a little bit better than turning it, like enveloping it in white or red or something, because it's not very helpful for those who maybe have sensitive eyes or who suffer from epileptic seizures. So enveloping the screen in black, I guess it's pretty helpful. But yeah, I think like, honestly, I think when it comes to flashing lights in video games, since they're so commonplace in video games, I think they're only really bad if they envelop the entire screen. But if they only make up like, if the flashing lights only make up a small fraction of that screen, so like maybe for example when my player when I take damage, or some of the text boxes when they are about to disappear, they flicker very quickly, but they only make up a very small fraction of the screen, so it's not nearly as bad as maybe like flushing out your entire screen in white and flickering it. And because if you do that, that's really bad news. I'm gonna pick up candle. This is the aquifer. A unique aspect of the aquifer is that the sound design is greatly affected in the aquifer. So that includes the weapons, some of the enemies. I think the turtle has a slightly altered death sound. And other things like let's see, I need to keep moving. Let's see. Here's some other things that are affected here. So the sound that the gems make when they bounce on the ground, that sounds different. If I find a weapon module, it'll sound a bit deeper as well. And if I find the shopkeep, all of his sound effects sound a lot deeper as well. Oof. I'm going to die. So I think that's a very unique aspect of the aquifer as a whole. Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, if I showed a little more of the aquifer, I could probably show you some more fun sound design bits. We're gonna try one more time. See what else I can find that it's worth talking about, you know? There's the triple. I think I mentioned this in yesterday's stream, but like the triple sound has like a very booming sound to it. And then when I have gem high, it sounds a lot has a very lighter tone to its sound. But yeah, it still maintains that that kind of sense of boom. Sort of booming sound from its original version. Let's see, that red critter has its own sound. Rest in pieces. Maybe for another time. Oh dear. What I like about the frogs is that if you shoot them, you can reset their jump state. So like if they're about to jump and you shoot them, then they'll basically change their mind and they won't shoot. Oh, look at that! I have 29. Let's claim that reward. Why not? Excuse me, sir. I just want to bounce on the torch because that gets me gems. I don't have to go out of my way to do that, but I do it anyway. Let's get this. And this. Why not? Thank you. I think the turtles have one of my favorite sound effects. As far as the enemies go. I really like the sound design. Oh, gotta go. Gotta blast. Get me out of here. Blast module. I like how on top of the UI element of the of the ammo count, there's a little flash that shows up whenever I land that indicates that I have reloaded every time. It's just a little square that kind of tells me that I've reloaded, coupled with a reloading sound effect as well. But it's so helpful. It makes it much easier for the player to understand, oh, I can do this. And this is what I'm capable of. Get out of here, So having all that visual feedback in place for your game makes it a lot easier for your player to understand how this game works a lot faster. Because otherwise, if you don't have those things, then they'll probably take longer on trying to understand how this game works. Let's get that, why not? That's my favorite shopkeep sound effect right there. Heals 1 HP, plus 1 charge, why not? 1 HP, we'll add that to the count. I have enough money to buy everything. Let's just do that. Max HP up, very cool. Then I have the blast module too, so on top of that, I have visual and audio feedback that shows how it works. Okay. Maybe I can show you Rocket Jump again. Rocket Jump has a very cool animation. And in case you haven't noticed, the music plays as soon as you land, or if you stomp on an enemy. Or, I guess, an object as well. But it otherwise never stops until you land on something. It's just such a funny little audio design quirk, but it's there. Most of the music tracks have this sort of pause in between the melody as well. So I guess it's kind of appropriate. Take a moment to appreciate the rocket jump. That, of course, has its own sound effect as well. Having, like, unique animations and sound effects, as I probably have said over a few times in this stream, having unique animations and sound effects are what give these things a sense of identity. Whether it's enemies, or upgrade options, or different weapons, that kind of thing. Makes it easy for the player to understand that you have this thing, and you are capable of doing this thing. That kind of thing. Whoop. I should take it easy. Bats! Oof. I need health. Please. Alright. This is fine. This is fine, everybody. This is fine. Ooh, knife and fork! I can show you how this works. It's hilarious. 6 combo. Okay, I just killed a worm. That drops a corpse. Other things that drop corpses are the ghosts in the catacombs. If you're in the caverns, there is the bats and turtles. Those drop corpses. If you see those red critters crawling around, those also drop corpses. And the snails as well. And more on the catacombs include the ghosts, the giant skulls. Not the small skulls, just only the giant ones. What else drops corpses? Bats. Bats again. And the worms are here too. Let's appreciate the knife and fork sound effect. Tasty. Nom 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 nom. I'm sorry if that sounded gross, but trying and failing to replicate the sound effect. Okay. What can we get from you, shopkeep? What can we buy today? Just a charge? Alright. I'll do it. Probably should have saved my money, but whatever. Spectres and small skulls have their own death sounds. So that's pretty cool. Safety jetpack. I should use this. I don't think I've used this enough in my last run. Oh, I should move. Let me eat you. Thank you. Oof. It's very hard to maintain a combo and eat corpses at the same time. That's what I'm finding here. I'm going to die. Maybe I should have just dropped my combo. Oh, that's not good. I don't have enough money either. Maybe I should not focus on racking up a combo and just try to survive. So knowing how this game works and stuff, you kind of get an idea of what you're capable of. So like, you can't shoot at anything above you. You can only shoot at anything that's below you. Or stomp on things that are below you. So like, if anything gets above you, then that's a big problem. Including the ghosts and the red eyes in the cavern. I think this will be my last run and I'll call it a night. But yeah, I think this game is very, very fun, very simple. Especially if you want to get into roguelikes, this would be a fun game to start on. Or specifically action roguelikes, because there's some subgenres of roguelikes, I think. Because there's some that are card-based, like say Slay the Spire, or I'm not sure what other subgenres there are off the top of my head. There is one roguelike that I have played that's very tactical. It's called FTL, Faster Than Light. That's another game you could look into if you want to play a roguelike, but is not an action roguelike like Downwell or Nuclear Throw. So FTL is a fun one. I think FTL is more like a management and strategy-driven game, because you are in that game you try to manage a space crew. You try to navigate around a solar system and stuff. You look out for space pirates. Sometimes the people you take on your crew will betray you, or sometimes enemies will invade your ship and destroy it. And yeah, that kind of stuff. Vastly different from something like Downwell, which is where games like Downwell here are very direct, very action-driven. I'm gonna pick this one up. I have this combo, and I am very compelled to keep it going. Gives you a good sense of risk and reward. Like, should I keep going with this combo, or should I just drop it at some point, or should I try to go through the entire run with one singular combo? And that has been done before. I just saw like a video last night of somebody doing just that. And I think it was a world record speedrun too. Yeah, you could go through the entire game all the way up to the final boss with one unbroken combo if you wanted to. It's crazy, and maybe it's not super practical, but it's possible. I also like how the text, like the reward text, kind of dithers a bit whenever you, the player, or enemies approach it. So that way there's not too much visual clutter. I think it's very nice. Makes it easy to distinguish one thing from another. Oh, there was a bat there. I didn't see it. Not paying attention. Bounce on that frog at mid-flight. That happens a lot. If you are wary of what to do in this game. If you know what to do, at least. Let's pick up the heart balloons. That way I can show you what it does. Look at this. It's just a balloon. Yeah, you know how I was saying that, like, if any enemy gets above you, you are in big trouble? Well, this balloon remedies that for at least once. So I like how the developer has thought of multiple angles of how to get by in this game. Or like multiple ways of having different upgrades. That doesn't make sense. I like how there's some upgrade variety. And they affect multiple factors that you may take for granted in this game. Let's see. More health, why not? I have enough for this. Let's do it. Alright, more gems. Excuse me. Come and get me, bat. I dare you. Oof. They can still get me from the sides. Even with the balloon. Let's see. I'm gonna pick up the blast module, because that's very helpful. Oh, got the skull. And thus, as I've said earlier, the music begins. Ah! They popped my balloon! That's what happens when they touch my balloon. It's a very big and, like, spectacular explosion, too, as opposed to something small and contained like the rocket jump. I'll take this. Nothing. And nothing else. Blast module makes it helpful to get multiple enemies. Oh, get me out of here! What's my combo at right now? Oh, 6. 7. 8. 9. Okay. Hold that thought. Let me get the gems. Oh, jeez. Perhaps I should take it easy and just try to live. Gunpowder blocks. This will be very helpful in the catacombs. Because there's a lot of blocks. I was prepared for that bridge of blocks there, so immediately shot down. Skeletons are no fun. And of course, there's unique sound effects and visual feedback for gunpowder blocks. go. Get him. Come on. Big money, big money. Oh, okay. I've highly underestimated the power of the burst weapon. It's pretty strong, but it's not as strong as the laser or the shotgun. Speaking of shotgun. Okay. Ooh. We're going down. We're going further down. I'm gonna pick up youth. So that way I can hopefully increase my health later down the line. Oh, spoke too soon. Man, that's the tough part about having shotgun. It chews up so much ammo with every shot. I like how certain explosions, like the blast module or the rocket jump, like immediately destroy some of the scarier enemies, like the giant skulls. Kind of goes to show how strong those upgrades are. There we go. Max HP up. Just what I needed. Come at me, Ghost. I don't think I have much else to say about the catacombs until I get to the aquifer. Get me out of here. Let's see. Now we have 4 choices because I picked up youth, so that means I have an extra choice. I'm gonna pick up. Oh, this is tough. These are some nice choices, honestly. I'm gonna pick up apple. Sort of I think the beauty with roguelikes, action roguelikes like this, is that you get to see how all of these individual systems work in tandem. Of course, you have to, like, if you're developing this game, you have to consider, like, how are all of these things supposed to work together? Do you have to bug fix anything? Or are you getting some unintended results out of these, out of a certain set of circumstances? That kind of thing. That has a deeper sound when I'm in the aquifer. And if I find a shopkeep, maybe you can see how he sounds. Okay, I don't know. I'm guessing they could be genderless. Even it doesn't matter, but whatever. We're just here to dive down a cave, not to question a character's gender or something. It's a very simple game anyway. Let's see. Because honestly, these creatures and people are just here. That's pretty much what matters, I guess, for Downwell. I don't know. That's just a weird tangent I'm going off of. Gem Ejector. Let's get that. Oop. I think I reset my combo. But maybe I shouldn't be doing that in the aquifer. What? Where did you come from? Ah! Get away from me. I don't like these creatures. Hard to tell when there's a lot of things going on here. think I should just live. I should try to survive. Because I have plenty of max HP going on here. Oh, that was close. Could have bonked my head on the coral. I don't like those red creatures, because sometimes they can chase you. But they otherwise just mill around. Another thing about risk and reward is that you have to consider which ones can you stomp and which ones you cannot stomp, because if you miss them, then that means probably shouldn't risk it anymore. That's more of a low-grade thing, factor to consider as far as risk and reward goes. But it's a thing nonetheless. Okay. Should not have risked it knowing that there were squids coming down there. Get away! Go away! Stupid creatures. There's 3 of them chasing me. Let's get out of here. Okay. For the first time in this stream, I made it to Limbo. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to go into Limbo? I don't think you are. Let's see. Popping gems. I really need this. Alright, welcome to Limbo. This is a very strange place, as I may have said in yesterday's stream. As indicated by the floating projectiles that you cannot stomp on, and the weird sound effects that play when you stomp on floating objects. And of course, also the music really sells the atmosphere. In fact, I think the music really sells the atmosphere in each biome in general. So yeah, setting the mood really helps. If you were able to listen to the Aquifers music, it's a lot more calming as opposed to the previous 2 biomes. But here it's very strange, probably akin to the occult, that kind of thing. Let's see. I think I want this. Get more health too. It's a very unusual place over here. Oof. And there's also very little solid ground. Ouch. Okay. I need to be very careful now. Okay. This is fine. Trying to do the wall jump trick, but it's not easy to execute. There we go. Oh dear. Stupid rotating projectiles. There we go. I'm gonna get this. Very cool. I may not get the chance to see the final boss today, but oh well. Oh! Spoke too soon. But yeah, I pretty much covered a lot of stuff that I missed out on yesterday's stream. So yeah, if you ever want to pick up Downwell, it's $3. It's on Steam. It's on Switch. I believe it's on Xbox and PS4, and on iOS and Android, I think. But yeah, it's a fun game, and I would absolutely pick it up at full price as well. I think most people can handle $3. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. Head to the surface, and we could chill. Need to take care of some things anyway. Well, that about does it for today's stream. Well, does anybody have questions about Downwell, or maybe how the game works, or strategies to play Downwell, or do you have questions about me before I take off? Or maybe game design. If you have questions about game design, I can answer them to the best of my ability. Hello. Nobody has questions, and I'll probably just take off in a few minutes. Are you going to cover other games? I want to cover Hades when the 1.0 release is out, but nobody knows when that's going to be yet. We just know that it's going to be this fall. I could probably cover Nuclear Throne as well, because there's a lot of stuff that that the player will not pick up on immediately. And I think that'll be helpful for not just pointing them out from a game design analyzation standpoint, but also but also to just help anyone who hasn't played the game. There's probably more I could cover, but like a lot of the games I'm thinking of covering are like indie games. May I recommend a game to cover? It's also a roguelike. What game is it? Plus indie. Oh, even better. Well, depends on how it's designed, I guess. Kelopot. I have not heard of that. Kelopot? Let's search it. Story-driven action platformer with roguelike elements. Oh, interesting. This was released at the end of last year. Looks like a action platformer, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if... oh, it's still in early access. Interesting. I think most of the games that I would want to cover are those that I have the most experience in playing as a player. So, like, it would, if I were to pick up a game that I've never played before, it will probably take me a while. It just got a major update. Very cool. You know what else I could cover is this game called Scourgebringer. That has a confirmed 1.0 release date. That's also a action platformer roguelike. But it has some Metroid. Its level structure is based on Metroidvania, so it'll be very different from Downwell. So I could cover Scourgebringer as well, because I played a lot of that game myself as well. Let's see, looks like Kelopod has a lot of bullet hell stuff. Interesting. And also just screenshots of bullet patterns. Yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna cover other games, but like I don't know when I'm gonna cover Hades, which I think will take like over a dozen streams to like cover the entirety of the game. But I think I'll have a better idea of when I'll start streaming Hades when the 1.0 releases out. And I want to do it from a fresh file too, so you'll be able to see and hear all of the content and voice work behind the game. Casey, hello. This is so sad. I'm about to get off my stream, but I'm gonna keep the VOD up. That way people can look back on this. Is that the one and only Captain? That is me. I'm just chilling after playing Downwell. Because, man, our action platformers or action roguelikes like this game can get like very exhausting. And on top of that, I've been talking the entire time too, so that's easier. Well, easier said than done, but like it's hard to do two things at once. Hey, it's cool to hear your perspective on the game, dude. Yeah. I don't know, I find game design to be very interesting, and I want to make a game myself. Actually, several games. Several individual games, as opposed to making a game series. So yeah. That's why I'm taking some game design classes in school, because they're offered at the university that I'm going to. Let's see. Nice. You're going to be like the next epic creator? I don't know. I don't know if I will be. I like to think that I could be, but I don't know. Don't forget me when you're famous. I won't. And if I do, that'll be very sad. Let's see. I've said that I want to cover Hades. I could also do Nuclear Throne and Scourgebringer. What else could I do? There's one little game that is pretty simple. There's a pretty simple roguelike that I could probably cover called Resistance is Futile. It is so silly, but it's technically a roguelike, and I could cover that too. Maybe next weekend. Are you more preferred to review old or newer games? Or I guess, in other words, do I prefer reviewing old or newer games? I think I would have an easier time playing and reviewing newer games. Cause like a lot of games from say the 8-bit era all the way up to the early 3D era are not always fine-tuned to be forgiving for the player as much, as opposed to like the rise of the indie games and the current generations of video games in general, where they allow for some room for error. So I think that's why I would prefer newer games, and probably just like games that have a little bit of a cushion to them in some aspect, in general. So like the games that are just like absolutely unforgiving and like naturally hard games, I do not think I can have an easy time with that. So no Pong. I don't know how I can access Pong either. I don't even have a CRT, nor do I even have like whatever that plug-in device is. You probably need a really old CRT on top of that. Because, hey, Pong is like a product of its time. Forget about Snake. That one is just so cruel. It depends on how Snake is structured. Because most of them, most versions of Snake, from what I've seen, allow for a little margin for error. Stretch it like a snake. It goes nom nom. Yes, that's how snakes work. You know what's funny? How like even games like Snake and like the very game that defined roguelikes, which is this little game called Rogue. Games like Rogue and Snake are like kind of precursors to like an entire genre of video games, mostly adopted by the indie game community. Because like there's like dozens of roguelikes. They all cover different subgenres. Earlier this stream, I was just talking about Slay the Spire, which is a very it's a turn-based card game. Now that I think about it, there's this game called One Step from Eden. If you've heard of One Step from Eden, it's an action roguelike. I guess an action RPG roguelike, but it's heavily inspired by Mega Man Battle Network. So if you have played that game, you'll be familiar with the structure of One Step from Eden. Wait, so are you gonna cover Kelapot? First I need to buy the game and play it for maybe like, I don't know, 50 hours or so. So I don't know. If I get to that point, then I'll cover it. 50 is kind of a steep requirement. Maybe say 10 at minimum. But first I need to pick up the game and play it for at least 10. And then I'll have a decent idea of what to examine as far as game design goes. Oh, there's totally an unforgiving game called Winnie the Pooh Home Run Derby game. It's online and free. I should look that up. If that game is as hard as you claim. Cool, looking forward to it. No guarantees yet. It ultimately depends on whether or not I pick up the game, okay? But there's still plenty of other games I could cover too. Hello, Captain, remember me? I think so. I think you were around before my name change. What other... Now I'm just talking about roguelikes. And games that I have played. What else have I played? I may as well look at my Steam app. A lot of my roguelikes are on Steam. Library. Because I've already mentioned Hades. I just did Downwell. I could do Resistance's Fruit Tile, which I have on itch. I could do Nuclear Throne. What else? I've talked a little bit about doing Assault Android Cactus, but it's not a roguelike, but there's a lot to examine in that game too. What else is there? Excuse me. Can I look at... No, I can't. That stinks. Oh no, wait. I should just look at recently played. Probably cover some of Supergiant Games' other titles, like Pyre, Transistor, Bastion. I could probably do that if I wanted to. Oh, there's this game that I want to play that comes out this month called Going Under. And not only could I talk about the game design decisions behind Going Under, because that game is a dungeon crawler, but you play as an intern fighting goblins in a basement of a failed startup. It's such a weird premise, but what's also weirder is its game design, because it plays a lot like Breath of the Wild, where you have to maintain and actively use a variety of weapons, and they're easily breakable. So I think if I play Going Under a lot and see what that game is like, then I can examine that too. I think it may also be fun to talk about from a narrative standpoint. I could do Crypt of the Necrodancer if I wanted to. What other roguelikes would be fun to talk about? Oh yeah, Risk of Rain 2. I think I want to play a little bit more of that since the 1.0 release came out last month. So maybe not Risk of Rain 2 yet, because I do not understand how most of the systems work. Binding of Isaac? Binding of Isaac. I don't know about that one. I have played it. I think I played the original one and Afterbirth? Or Rebirth? I don't know. There's too many different versions of the same game, and I've already lost track. Ooh, there's a spin-off of Touhou project called Touhou Luna Nights. That may be fun to cover. It's not a roguelike, but it's more or less inspired by Castlevania. Let's see. I have SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom rehydrated. I sent you a DM for the game, Captain. Oh. Thank you, Casey. I will check it out after the stream. Ooh, I can talk about Ape Out! I should be making a list. Ape Out's a fun game. It's a very simple game. But that actually has some randomization elements. It's not a full-blown roguelike, but like it has that degree of randomization, but also familiar set pieces in Ape Out. So that might be fun to talk about. Let's see, I already mentioned Scourgebringer. I could talk about Spelunky if I wanted to. Though, I don't think I'm really jazzed about the gameplay in Spelunky. I could riff on Super Hot Mind Control Delete, perhaps. Because I think there's some things that I'm kind of disappointed in Super Hot Mind Control Delete. Now I'm just trying to see if there's any roguelikes that I've played a lot of that I could probably talk about. Excuse me. I'm not going to be able to find much else on here. If you have a PS3, Rain is a very well-designed game. Is it just called Rain? And I don't have a PS3, unfortunately. Though I wonder if a PS4 could play PS3 games. Because my sister has one. And I think she might let me borrow it. Hey dude, why'd you have a long hiatus and only upload Smite videos? I didn't upload Smite videos. I uploaded videos from Hades. But I didn't upload anything from Smite. I never even played Smite. But why the hiatus? I don't know. I guess I just wasn't too excited about streaming. Yeah, the videos I uploaded were for this game called Hades. And I've been playing that game a lot, so that's why I made a few dumb little videos from that game. I'm back. What did I miss? A lot. But it's okay. I'm going to post the VOD. So that way you can see what I've been talking about on Downwell. But that means I'll have to end the stream. Right now I'm just chilling. That's all I'm doing. Oh, here's another game that I could probably talk about. Is this game called The Blob. Anyone remember that one from the Wii? I also have The Blob too. Both of those games got re-released on Steam a few years ago. So I could probably talk about one or both of them. Because that has some very nice game design aspects in there. Have you played Night in the Woods? I have it on itch, but I have not played it yet. I need to play that game. I also need to play Celeste, which I also have on itch. So, how are you? I'm okay. I am just vibing. Just vibing. Yeah, I've heard good things about Celeste. And I think I may have... I think I'll be able to enjoy it. Maybe except for, like, very difficult platforming sections. But we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Try playing Finesse Maniac Mania? What? That's a game? I have this game called Vanquish. It's so cheesy. But like, my favorite part about Vanquish is that you could just butt slide anywhere. And it's a third-person shooter on top of that, too. And you fight, like, I guess they're supposed to be Soviet robots? I don't know. Vanquish is weird. I walked in on you talking about Mega Man Battle Network. You know a lot about games. I do. I know a lot about games that I have played and games that I have not played. I think you walked in when I was talking about One Step from Eden. So if you like Mega Man Battle Network, check out One Step from Eden. It's Five Nights at Freddy's fan game that you can find on Game Jolt. Okay. I have not played any of the FNAF games, much less the fan games. So, mostly because I'm not interested in horror, so that's why I haven't played them. I have failed as a human and used the wrong no. It's okay. Spelling errors. That happens to everybody. It's fine. Oh, okay. So I did play the original Binding of Isaac and Binding of Isaac Rebirth, but not Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. I think I kind of stopped after Rebirth because, I don't know. I think I got tired of it. Kind of made me think, Edmund McMillan, what are you doing with all of these various versions of Binding of Isaac? What's up with that? Yes, I have Faster Than Light. I've already talked about Faster Than Light. That's a fun roguelike. There's another very cheap game called Superflight that you can pick up on Steam. It's a wingsuit flying game, basically. And all of the environments that you can fly through are randomly generated, and it's primarily a score attack game. So you score points by flying as close as you can to the environment. And that aspect alone makes it very challenging. Because if you crash, then your flight ends. Let's see. Can I recommend another game? What do you got? Tell me what you got. Neon Abyss. I've heard of that game. I haven't played it, though. Though, maybe I should try out Neon Abyss anyway, since I played Scourgebringer, because I think the same developers worked on Scourgebringer and Neon Abyss. Let me look that up. Pretty sure that's the same developer. Neon Abyss. There it is. Or is that... No, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of Nero Voider. Oops. Neon Abyss. Yeah, I've heard of this game. I don't think I picked it up because I wasn't super interested in it at first. What would you say is your most hoped game that you thought it'd be good, but it turned out to be terrible, besides No Man's Sky? I never played No Man's Sky, so that's not an answer for me. Oh, what's a game that disappointed me? There's plenty of games that have disappointed me. But I think two of the most recent examples that I could think of off the top of my head are, let's see. Let's see if I can remember what this game is called. There's this game called Creature in the Well, and I think it was featured in Indie World as a Switch release. Basically, Creature in the Well, it combines aspects of pinball with a hack and slash. And I thought that was a very cool concept, and I wanted to play it. But I found it to be extremely boring. And I also found the fact that when you die, you're basically like booted out of the like facility that you're trying to navigate through, and it's very off-putting to me. There's also this other game that I played called Superland. That also really disappointed me as soon as I saw the final boss. Because, like, as soon as I saw the final boss for Superland, I was like, why am I playing this game? And why is it trying to cater to a younger audience? Why? So both of those games, I think I refunded Creature in the Well, because I didn't play it for that long. But Superland, I was already, like, many hours into the game, so there's no way you could refund that one on Steam. For someone who knows a lot about games, do you have any advice for someone who wants to make a game with no knowledge? Maybe someone like me. Okay. Maybe some starting points to look into if you want to develop games. I would not only keep playing video games, but also games, the kind of games that you would want to make. So for me, for example, I'd want to make roguelikes and or twin stick shooters. That was mostly shaped by the games that I played, which include Downwell right here, or Nuclear Throne, Assault Android Cactus, those kinds of things. So get a feel for the kinds of games that you want to make. Another thing to look into is to either find friends who are experienced in fields that you may not be experienced in. So maybe say if you are an artist, you need a coder and a musician and a sound designer. Find some friends that want to make a game with you. Of course, I guess that depends if you happen to have friends that are able to do those things. But if all else fails, as far as that goes, consider what game engine you want to develop in. And there's plenty of game engines, along with lots of forum posts, video tutorials, and there's some people who may hold like online classes about it, or mentorships or something like that. So that way they can teach you how these game engines work. Personally, I would recommend looking into either Unity or GameMaker. GameMaker may be a lot easier to digest because of how its coding structure is arranged. But in either case, I would make sure that you are somewhat familiar with how basic coding works. So maybe you look into how C or C# is structured. So because both of those because both the GameMaker language and Unity's base code are based in some form of C or C#. So I want to make sure you familiarize with the basics of C or C#, because like as I said, both Unity and GameMaker are somewhat based off, or either actually use C# or are somewhat based off of that coding language. So yeah. Okay, I looked at my friend list and it's blank. What do I do now? Well, as I just said, look into game engines, game tutorials. Start small. That's the important thing. Start small. Make a bunch of little games. Maybe do rapid prototyping if you want to. I mean, that's how the developer behind Downwell made this game. He decided, Ojiro Fumoto, as I've read it in like an article that details his personal experience in making Downwell. Ojiro did did like I think he like spent a week long on each prototype, and it wasn't until the 13th one that he decided to expand upon and make what is now known as Downwell. So the idea is to fail faster, fail sooner. And you know, that's something that I should be doing, but I'm kind of focusing on school right now, so maybe I'll start doing something about that until after school. In the meantime, I'm just conceptualizing ideas, and I'm trying to keep those in check. How long have I been sitting here and talking? I've lost track. Oh no. It sucks because I have an established world, but no way to put it in the game because I can't code. Well, yeah, either you learn how to code yourself, or you see if you happen to know somebody that knows how to code, that wants to help you. Are you keeping track of the games we mentioned? Well, I hope it's archived when I put up the VOD, but I always remember... I can just scroll up the chat, honestly. Oh yeah, there's Kelopot. Somebody mentioned Neon Abyss. And Casey actually DM'd me a few games that they've mentioned. Let's see. Yeah, I think you've only recommended me a few games. And I've talked about like a dozen other games that not many people have responded to, but that's okay. I'm hoping that when I put the VOD up, the chat will also play as well. I have yet to see that from yesterday's stream. Any closing questions before I go? Or maybe before I go off on another tangent. I have a character me and my friends made. It's the main character if you're interested. Very cool. Yeah, I think the main character will really matter. That's just me, personally. Because that's the player, that's the character, especially if that's the character that the player will be playing with the most. Not really, but that said, I bid you a goodbye. Goodbye, Shadow Wolf. Thanks for coming. Are you streaming regularly on YouTube now, maybe after school? That I'm not sure of. I don't know if I want to continue regularly streaming. Because I've only just started streaming yesterday, after not streaming on YouTube for months. Honestly, what I could do is just do more game design analysis on other games until Hades arrives. I've already talked about like a dozen options that I should probably write down, but I have not, and that is sad. Do you think trumpet beams are dead? And goodbye. Yes. Yeah, but just asking because I love this. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you do. Well, I don't know. I guess at least since you mentioned it, it's good to know that somebody is willing to come back to it, you know? No, it can't be. The trends justify the memes. I don't know. I'll think about, like, what other games I could cover. For now, I'm not sure what else I'm going to cover. Especially if I want to stream more regularly on weekends. I'll have to think about it. Maybe I'll do something... Maybe I'll cover, like, a simple game. Like, maybe, say, Resistance is Fruitile. But if not that, if I could probably start another game, but like they'd probably be a little more complex. Yeah, I guess catch you later. Maybe Binding of Isaac. I don't know. Maybe if I'm out of other good options, then maybe. There's already a lot of like a dozen other games that I have played a lot of and can like talk your ear off about. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get going before I talk anymore. I'm out of water. I need to get more water. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I'll see you later.